Okay, here I am, plane carrier. I'm going to cheat a little bit and throw some units into cap. I should have done that last night. I think I'm going to throw three of my P-39s up there. And over here on the carriers, I want to throw most of my planes in cap as well. I'm at 8 steps per carrier. I don't know what the difference between the marker. Is there a little cap marker for these guys? No, that doesn't make sense. Yeah, I mean, cap is flying in the same hex. I don't know why there'd be a marker for that, and I don't think there are. So, I guess you could put the specific carrier task force number or something there. I'm not sure. I think that's just a printing error, a decision. I'm also not sure what these hits here are for. Maybe for allocating damage to planes or something at some point. Again, you know, it's really a tough rule set to absorb the whole thing. But what we've got is the simple part of the game that I've learned, which is I'm here at 4 more Japanese chits. Now I threw the Port Moresby chit in here. I don't think that's supposed to be there. The U.S. is able to do air operations out of Moresby, and I don't know what else it can possibly mean. So let's take a look at these. I got a PBY search. That means I got to read the rules on those. I got 2 of them. Alright, I'll be back after I figure those out. But the Japanese don't actually move this time, which is kind of interesting. Okay, so for each of these PBY searches, I roll 2 dice and then look for the appropriate PBY hex. I got a 2 and a 2. That means I got to re-roll one of them. I got to get 2 different ones. So I got a 2 and a 10. There's the 10. Let's see if I can find the 2. That's out here. Alright, now I look at the PBY search table, but these are only going to affect I think within 3. Jesus, I just read this and now I can't find it. I don't know. Roll the dice twice and locate the corresponding search hex. Then locate the column. Roll a die. This is the number of forces. Choose X forces of those within 3 hexes of the thing. So if nothing's within 3, it can't have any effect. And with such a procedural rule set, you'd think they just say, if nothing's within 3, discard it, because that's what you want to do. But of course, I had to read the entire rule through all these chart usages. And here I have a 7 and a 4, and I don't think I'm even in range of any of these. 4's up there, 7's down there, so that's not an issue. So those are my 2 PBY searches. Now for my Americans, I can't move anything. I can launch planes. These guys don't have a lot of search range. I'm holding off on them a little bit. They only have, what, maybe 5 hexes or something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're not going to be able to find anything likely because these ships are going to be heading down this way. Task Force 16 is my closest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I would like to start getting some things out there. Here's the problem. My fighters don't have a lot of range. Now, if I recall correctly, TBDs cannot be used for search. I don't want to look up what can search and what can't. Again, more things. There's no indication on the planes, but I know that SBDs can. I also know that the search table gives a nice rating for them. I can find my search tables. Yeah, not those things marked search table. It's not an easy game to play unless you're absolutely familiar with it. Alright, so here's my search table, one of the few things I am familiar with. And if you look here, for the modifiers, one of the biggest things is the number of steps I'm searching with. 3 error steps gives you a +1, which is a penalty. 4 gives you nothing. 5 to 7 gives you -1. I'm going to launch 4, and they're going to go here onto the available search track. That means next impulse, they'll be at a range where they can search some of those out. It's not an optimal situation, but I need to get some contact with some of these ships. And I want to keep some of my bombers available because I'm not in range to launch these guys. They only have a range of 8 hexes, basically, which means 4 out and 4 back. So right now it's more important to find things, but I need to kind of cycle my planes. It wasn't important that I dropped the cap earlier because I can launch like 8 steps at a time from a carrier, I think. So, and you can gather a flight before you fly it out. So not much else is happening this phase. I'll push forward. Oh my. It was just pointed out to me that I'm cheating. I'm only allowed to have, I believe it's 8 aircraft, or 8 steps of aircraft maximum on a carrier's flight deck. And that all makes sense. The carrier carries a lot more planes than it can launch all in one blow or even have parked on the deck. I've got to figure out how to cope with this within my situation. But that's just a sign of, you know, the level of how many little different rules there are. Perfectly reasonable, completely historically accurate, but hard as hell for somebody like me to remember. And that's why I'm afraid, you know, I'm just not going to be able to get the full experience of this game the way that I'm capable of learning a game. I find myself, I read the rules 3 times, maybe more, not absorbing it all in that. I'm playing it. I'm looking up the rules, flipping between page to page with a significant amount of the information contained only in the rule book, not in player aids. And you know, I mean, there's just too much to fit in the player aids. They've given you a tremendous number of them. This is just too much of a game for me to handle in terms of too many little details squirreled away in the rule book. I can understand why some people love it. I think, like with, you know, my days with Starfleet Battles, where I didn't mind having all those thousands of rules available, and this is clearly not on that scale, that I would every now and then use. But for the most part, the core system rules, you could look up whatever you need, kind of like ASL. But I would have that all available because I was interested enough. This I'm never going to be that interested in. This is just not, you know, I'm not at that point in my life where I can get that deep into a single game ever again. And also, this is not, you know, where the focus of my interests lie. Such as. Okay, some more Japanese movement. Forces 6, 7, and if I recall correctly, 15 all moved based on a die roll of 6. And now the U.S. got to move, and Task Force 16 moved here. It's important. The Japanese can't hit me any further than 2 hexes away because of the search capabilities, first turn, whatever. So I know I'm safe at this point, still, barely. But I do have some planes in the air, and I have them on the wrong carrier. Son of a bitch. Yeah, I did not want to launch these here. I'm gonna put these here. I wanted to launch from here. I just made a mistake. 1, 2, 3. I don't know how many I had there. 4, I think. That gets me no penalty. Let's put them up here. I got myself confused. And let's see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll throw another plane up. And that's last turn's position. Okay, so now these fly out to the 4 to 7 range, and here I'm going to target my searches. I'll grab the air search table, and this is sort of the one thing I know how to do. Let me make sure I don't want to send more planes out. I still don't know about these guys for search, but they definitely can't get very far, so I'm pretty safe with them. I haven't bothered to look it up yet, right? Great, people outside. Wonderful. Yeah, I don't like people. Okay, so we slide these down to use to indicate that I'm going to conduct the search. And now, that search, because these planes go out to 14 hexes, is indeed going to be in the 4 to 7 range. It's possible that that could be cut lower. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to be able to get all of these. This is at 4. A little dangerous how close I am to that, because next turn the radius is 5. So if there's a carrier force there, or if I haven't identified it, I could have some problems. Let's see what I got here. Okay, my modifiers. Oh, I forgot about that -1 when I was playing my solo scenario. That would have helped me. I have no modifier, basically. I'm not using fighters for this. They're not as good. So I'm going to start with number 6 there, and we're going to see what I find. And this is kind of 5. I got an L. That means I located them. I'm going to need my counter tray somewhere nearby for a while. Okay, so located means I want to take the, this is my combat unit, I hope. Pretty sure I have the transports in there. And I pick a chit, and this is either going to be a level 1 or a level 2 chit or a dummy. In this case, it's a level 1 medium surface fleet. And I'll put that under here. I have searched for it, so I flip this over. That's important because search values degrade if you haven't maintained contact. And I got a located, so I'll put a little located marker under it. And I know that that's not a carrier right now, I think. I'm not positive about that, but it's highly unlikely that it is. Okay, let's take a look at 13. I've got the same ratings there. 1 is very good. I've got a possibility of hitting them with bombs because I'm playing with the advanced rules here. But, among other things, I get a located. This chip +1 would indicate that I'd have a higher level of knowledge about it if I've already identified it. I think this is number 13 I'm going for. The bomb hit's really cool though, and I'm going to have to look that up because I wasn't playing with airplanes with bombs on them last time. Okay, so the first thing I've got to do is I got to see what I got, because maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe I got a dummy. Ah, that's sad. Alright, so chip 13 is out of play, and I don't think that one's moved yet. So I'll pull that out. I'll deal with those at some other point, but right now they're out of the game. And we'll go over here. And I roll a 10, and that's not going to be good. So, those are my searches. I don't have any planes available on a strike or anything like that, so I just bump along to the 4th base. Okay, there was only one task force left to move, this 10th one up here, and that was too far away to fall under this search requirement. So now I'm on the US turn, and these just return. I could launch more planes, but I don't want to do that yet. I'm still too far away. Here's the problem. Maybe I want to get some guys launched for additional searches and such next turn. I've located this. I could actually launch an airstrike against that. I better think about this, because it's something I haven't done before. Let's see what happens. Alright, I'm not sure how wise this is. I'm launching a massive strike against that thing. 5 of these SBDs, which I think are the dive bombers, but I'm not sure. One of these TBDs. Somewhere it should tell me what I've got here, right? SBDs, TBDs. Yeah. PBYs, all that stuff. We got abbreviations here. President Jackson, that's not what we're looking for. Yeah. Alright, well, I'm not clever enough to find what the different... Oh, here we go. SBD's Dauntless Dive Bombers, TBD's Devastator Torpedo Bombers, and TBF's Avenger Torpedo Bombers. We don't have PBY listed here, but those are the Catalinas. Somebody clarified that for me, and yes, I saw that in the book there, seaplane, search plane, that are pretty much unarmed. Okay, so I'm going to launch 5 of these. I don't know if that's wise. Let me just launch 4 of these in one torpedo. I raised some more planes up to the flight deck after the launch. And I'm allowed to place 1 hex away from my fleet. And in addition to that, I've got this little marker to indicate how long I've been in the air. Now, I don't know if this is the required way, but I'm facing up north or whatever with a 1 to indicate it's been in the air for 1 turn. I got to get home by the end of turn 8 now, or phase 8. I've got a number of movement points. I should be able to get back by that time, with 1 to spare even, and make that strike on these surface ships. For the end of the turn, I have to worry about whatever's under chits that don't have a white stripe. If this guy hadn't been searched this turn, his located marker would degrade down to approximately located, but in this case, I get to keep my awareness of where he is. I've got a tracking on him for my search planes. And I think that's it for the end of the turn. If it isn't, I'll come back, but otherwise I'm loading this up.